And you feel no remorse for that?
I would kill him again.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another case of video. I don't want to spend too much time rambling at the beginning like I normally do. So without further ado, let's get into today's case. This is a case of Mitchelle Blair. March 24th, 2015, Detroit, Michigan. A representative from the Detroit Housing Authority arrived at a townhome on the Lower East Side. The townhome was rented by 35-year-old Mitchelle Blair and her 4 children. She owed $2,200 in back rent, and they were actually there to serve her a notice of eviction. After knocking on the door a few times, it was pretty clear that no one was home, so they went ahead and let themselves in. The home was absolutely filthy. The worst of it was in the bathroom and the main bedroom. Wasting no time, they began to move Mitchelle's belongings out of the home when they discovered something horrible. They found a freezer in the living room. Inside was the body of a young African-American girl. The girl was later identified as Mitchelle's daughter, 13-year-old Stoney Ann Blair. They quickly called the police, only for the police to make another shocking discovery. They found that underneath the body of Stoney was another body. It was the body of a young boy later identified as 9-year-old Stephen Berry, Mitchelle's oldest son. Mitchelle was actually found hiding somewhere nearby with her 2 remaining children, one a 17-year-old girl and the other one a 6-year-old boy. They were not publicly named, and I assume it's for privacy reasons. So if you know the name of the children, please don't put that in the comments below. I want them to remain anonymous. The following accounts that Mitchelle will recollect are nothing short of disturbing. So I want to warn you guys, we are going to start entering some very, very dark territory. And if that's not your thing, you might want to click away right now. According to Mitchelle, in August of 2012, Mitchelle's youngest son told her that he had been sexually abused by his brother Stephen. She confronted Stephen about the abuse, which apparently included physical abuse as well as making his brother drink Windex. Mitchelle's 17-year-old daughter actually had a more slightly detailed version of events when she sat down and talked with police. She said that Mitchelle had punished Stephen by putting plastic bags over his head until he passed out, then slapped him until he woke up. She also wrapped a belt around his neck and pulled him up to his feet with it. She made him drink Windex and poured boiling hot water on his genitals. On August 20th, 2012, Stephen was actually found by Mitchelle dead in their home. She wrapped him up in a blanket and stuffed him into a deep freezer that was located in the living room of their home. Stoney, according to Mitchelle, was punished for sexually assaulting her 2 younger brothers. But what sent Mitchelle over the edge, as if she wasn't already there, was a comment that Stoney made in regards to her younger brother, Stephen. She said that she hated Stephen because he was cute and got all of the attention. It's common for kids to say things like that and is hardly punished by death. The bodies of Stephen and Stoney were actually set out to defrost naturally for 3 days before an autopsy could be performed on either of them. We know that Stoney was abused on the night of her murder, but to what extent wouldn't come out until after the autopsy was done. The autopsy showed that Stoney had been hit in the head and face repeatedly with an object consistent with a 2x4. She was doused with hot water and suffocated with a plastic bag before ultimately being strangled to death with a t-shirt. She died on May 25th, 2013. I want to take a second to sort of go off on a tangent here real quick about the researching process of this video. When I was researching this, there were a lot of varying dates and times for things. And when I was compiling the timeline, I actually thought that I had gotten some of the dates wrong, in particular the year. I thought I maybe had mixed up some years, but it turns out that my actual information that I had was accurate. The bodies of Stoney and Stefan were found on the 28th of March 2015, even though Stefan had died August 20th of 2012 and Stoney had died somewhere in 2013, meaning that they had to have been in that freezer for 2, maybe 3 years respectively. That is something that will never cease to disturb me.
Mitchelle's trial was a complete circus. It was plagued with outbursts by Mitchelle, as well as heartbreaking testimonies by those who knew her and her kids. There were several pieces of evidence put forward, as well as testimonies from neighbors, as well as her oldest daughter. Mitchelle refused to be compliant with the rules of the court, and at times would speak out of turn. However, as nasty as her words were, she stood up there and gave her honest testimony.
Michelle's 17-year-old daughter actually testified in court that her and her siblings had been beaten for practically their whole life. She had also testified that she was made to help put Stoney and Stefan's bodies into the deep freezer.
There was a time before the murder of her children that Mitchelle actually called the police. She used the old my friend technique. She said that she had a friend whose older children had sexually assaulted a younger child.
She wanted to know what would happen to the abusers, and when she found out that all the children would be taken from the home that the activity actually took place in, she quickly hung up the phone and wanted nothing more to do with 911 at that time.
Mitchelle told her lawyer that she reacted so violently to the abuse allegations because she was sexually abused as a child. She told her mother, but nothing was ever done about it. She refused to let her children be abused the same way that she was. Her 2 surviving children were sent to live with their aunt, Angela Gordon, a retired child abuse investigator with 26 years under her belt. She said that she knew of the abuse, but didn't know the extent of it. It's a lame excuse to me, but okay. She told Mitchelle that she should be a better parent, then was cut off after that.
But Mitchelle and I actually do agree on one thing. And that is that if the death penalty was legal in Michigan, she would be the perfect candidate.
After her arrest, she gave up her rights to her 2 remaining children, with the youngest being adopted by an undisclosed family. As for Mitchelle, she will be spending the rest of her life in prison, and it's not looking so hot. She was in segregation from the GP because of her behavior. She was known for throwing urine and other things at the guards. She assaulted other prisoners and said if she could, she would definitely kill again. She was asked if she had any regrets for killing her children. She said no and referred to them as demons. However, she did say that she didn't mean to kill Stefan.
I normally like to end my videos with some sort of statement, but I had ran across a few clips of Mitchelle that I feel like perfectly encapsulates her as a person that I wanted to show you guys. So take a look at these.
Bodies on top of each other in a freezer.
What do you mean?
Why did you do that?
Well, I only had one deep freezer. I mean, take the decision to pile the bodies on top of each other. Where was she gonna go?
How did you conceivably sleep at night?
I slept well. Of course, at first I cried. It was up because I had to let go of all of that.
I'm doing my best, Mitchelle, to listen to what you're saying. However, I need to know that you also accept that you had a number of other options open to you, other than the extreme violence with which you decided to act.
What do you mean accept it?
You had a number of other options.
There were no other options. I'm not playing crazy. I wasn't in depression, none of that. It's no excuse for rape, period.
According to police reports, you ordered your eldest daughter to physically lift the body of one of your children.
No, I didn't tell her to lift the body.
Can you imagine?
You're talking about
You want to talk about your surviving children, though, Mitchelle? You didn't ever consider turning yourself in?
If my son told me that he did not want me to go after what happened with Stephen, after I killed son, do you really think I was about to turn myself in because of her? Hell no. No. No.
And you feel no remorse for that?
I would kill him again.
Well, sadly, guys, we have reached the end of our video. Thank you again for the love and support that you guys keep showing me on each and every video that I upload. You guys' comments, you guys' likes, and you guys just watching in general gives me so much motivation to keep going on the journey that I'm going on right now. So thank you. Thank you. I can't really say much more than that, except that I love you guys and I want you to stay safe, be smart, and get out and get some sunshine. Until next time, bye.
Look, your love's like a river, babe. I seen better days, yeah. In my soul you penetrate, I need your energy. Our vibrations make me levitate. Sipping Hennessy, reading bell hooks, she just saying I am surprised you don't.